Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Go F.O.C. Yourself, the Beats Final Order Cutoff Show. My name is Brandon, and I have, of course, forgotten to connect the internet to the thing, so it would be slower. Very prepared today. Very happy with my life choices. Hope you all are doing well. I know this week was hard for a lot of comic stores dealing with shipping, with Penguin kind of dropping the ball on their boxes. There was a lot of problems when it came to dinged corners and like entire chunks of shipment just being absolutely garbage once they got to a retailer. And for Penguin's part, they seem very reticent. And from the sounds of things, nothing that I've seen official yet. They've got a plan, not for this week's coming shipment, because I believe that was already in process, but for the one following it. And I do know that a lot of people who have been receiving their damage replacements have gotten them in boxes that are very, very well protected with bubble wrap and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. Just let me connect the internet properly so that we don't have any huge problems in a little bit here. As you can see, intern Jim is helping out here. She is hanging out and has been pressing a few buttons here and there, causing a little bit of a delay because she requires attention. All right. Come on. You're just going to get more in the way, aren't you? Of course. All right. Let's get some screen share going so that we can talk about some stuff. I do want to note that I am building a big column for a few weeks from now about Penguin's first month of distributing Marvel single issues, the good, the bad, all the way through, to really kind of drive home how things have gone well, how things have gone poorly, and to hopefully document this period of time where there's so much change happening in the direct market. I think that the direct market, such as it is, doesn't exist anymore. It's antiquated, it's weird, and it just doesn't work. So we're all moving to these new systems, whether by hook or by crook. Sometimes a lot of folks don't want to, and it's just what's happening right now. So, all right, let's get to some final order cutoffs. That's not final order cutoffs. Up on your screen it is, but what I clicked on was some projects for the business district that the store is in. I'm the chair of the business district here. So I have meetings about different initiatives and whatnot, and today has been a lot already. Let's get some things going here. You are definitely in the way, Jim, but not in the way of my heart. We're going to pop these two things out and try and get ahead of that. As we scroll down through a lot of what the extras that they have and the manga. I'm not a good source on manga, so I do not talk about the manga on the final order cutoffs. Although to note, Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend was part of Free Comic Book Day this year, and so if you had any traction on that, you should definitely take note here. And as you'll see, the prices I'm showing you are in Canadian because this is Canada, where this is streaming at you from so very excited for this new Amethyst graphic novel to come out. This is one of And that's another thing that I really like about Penguin's line is they'll actually tell you kind of where it's aimed at. This is an Amethyst book by Shannon Hale and Dean Hale. They write a bunch of very popular prose and did some of the Squirrel Girl prose that came out that went really well over for us. Amia, Princess of House of Amethyst in Gemworld, is something of a troublemaker. She and her brother have great fun together, but a magic prank goes much too far, and her parents ground her to earth. They hope a whole week in a mundane world will teach her magic is a privilege, and maybe washing dishes by hand will help her realize the palace servants should be respected. 3 years later, Amy has settled into middle school and ordinary life. She doesn't remember any other home, so when a prince of the realm brings her home and restores her magical destiny, how will she cope? This introduces a new generation to the fantastical place and a truly fantastic princess. We also have Batman and Robin and Howard from Jeffrey Brown. He of the Darth Vader and Son and a whole slew of other well-received books. To Damian Wayne, there is nothing more important than protecting the streets of Gotham City as Robin. But when he makes a critical mistake while out on patrol, Damian finds himself benched. And what's more, Damian's dad, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, decides that starting over in a new school will be the distraction Damian needs from his superhero routine. Certain that Gotham Metro Academy has nothing to teach him, Damian is completely unprepared for the challenge he finds in Howard, the smartest and most athletic boy in school. The boys' rivalry is instantaneous and fierce, and both are sure only one of them can be the best in their class. What follows is a funny story of rivalry, friendship, and mystery from best-selling author and illustrator Geoffrey Brown. Geoffrey. Okay, that is showing up. And the other side of the DC universe from John Ridley and Giuseppe Camuncoli. Academy Award-winning screenwriter John Ridley examines the mythology of the DC universe in this compelling new graphic novel, reframing iconic moments of the DC history and charting a previously unexplored socio-political thread as seen through the prism of DC superheroes who come from historically disenfranchised groups. John Ridley goes where no other has gone before. This unique series presents its story as prose by Ridley, married with beautiful realized color illustrations from a selection of exciting illustrators and comic artists. Extensively researched and masterfully executed, the other side of the DC universe promises to be an experience unlike any other. And you may think you know the history of the DC universe, but the truth is far more complex. The other history of the DC universe isn't about saving the world. It's about having the strength to simply be who you are. Here's where we get into the Marvel stuff with Amazing Spider-Man number 78. Not for Beyonce, unfortunately. It is a tie-in to the Beyond run of Amazing Spider-Man, but not so-called required reading. I would definitely suggest it for folks who are looking for some of the Daughters of the Dragon storytelling, because that's what's happening here with Jed MacKay at the helm of this particular story. Panther, yeah. Black Panther's also returning with John Ridley and Juan Cabal with some Alex Ross covers, which is really cool. It is a new era for Black Panther. This should, especially going into the new year and the new movie, definitely feature a tone of what the media is looking for. And so that'll be very cool to finally get in the hands of folks. I know this was originally delayed from its intended summer release. So coming up later in November, the Fantastic Four Anniversary Tribute. This is one of those ones where they take an issue and have a whole bunch of different artists kind of reimagine the issue. They are very cool to see done. And as you can see here, there's a reimagining of the issue 1 cover. So it's celebrating the anniversary of the Fantastic Four and doing that with a whole bunch of different artists. The Janice Vell Marvel Tales is tying into the big Captain's Marvel story happening in Captain Marvel right now. And it reintroduces older stories of Janice Vell for y'all to put in your Mouths. You know, like you do with comics. You just put them in your mouth. Da-na-na-na-na. The Darkhold series continues with Darkhold Wasp #1. It's got Jordi Belair. It's got Mike Allred. Interesting. And Paul Renard. I like all of this. This is basically the Darkhold is a one-shot mini event series where a bunch of superheroes end up getting corrupted, basically, and shenanigans ensue. Shenanigan. It looks like the X-Men Hellfire Gala, because it was delayed, is F.O.C'd here. We're going to keep an eye out to see if it is also on Diamonds, because if you ordered this through Diamond, you'll want to keep an eye on your orders if you want to do one way or another. You might want to zero them out if you can. If you can't zero them out, definitely don't add them here unless you really want more copies coming at you. Gonna pop this open into a new tab. Oh yeah, new tab. Pop a new tab. Oh yeah, Marvel's got a couple more graphic boxes coming out, including Peach Momoko Demon Days 1, featuring Storm. Come on, there you go. And Devil's Reign, the big ground level superhero Who's Gal from the Daredevil creative team of Chip Zdarsky and Marco Ciaccato. There's also all these great collections, some of them coming back into print because they have gone out of print. Others on there for the first time. All right. Shirley and Jamila's A Big Fall. As Jamila settles into the rhythms of classes and after-school basketball practice, Shirley has a new mystery on her mind. Her old enemy Chuck is up to his usual tricks. He's been blackmailing kids all over school, and Shirley knows that she and Jamila can put a stop to it. They hatch a plan. They're going to break into his house one night and recover all the notes Chuck's been using to blackmail innocent kids. But while Shirley and Jamila are at the house, another intruder arrives, an intruder who can help them put a stop to Chuck's crimes once and for all. This is for fans of Raina Telgemeire's and Victoria Jameson's, and it has some middle grade graphic novel stuff. Whoa, words, great words. Ugh. Okay, Jim's falling asleep on my elbow now. So my range of motion is going to be limited going through the rest of this. What do we got here? Danica says, hi, Jim. Yeah, she is encamped on my elbow now and a little bit on the soundboard because, as you well know, Danica, Jim loves to be super comfortable by just having things jutting into her sides. My difficult ladies. I love them all. I know Danica in particular is also excited for a thing called Truth coming out here. It is from Image Comics from Yolanda Zaffardino and Elsa Ramboli, who are currently doing... Oh my goodness. Hopefully, Danica, you're still watching to help me out here, but they're doing that one from Black Mask that starts with an A. Good job, me. A chaotic LGBTQ plus road trip, a workaholic scientist who wants to save the world, and a woman who fears nothing but discovering her own destiny find themselves mixed up in a chaotic on-the-road adventure through Europe, where they manage to find a middle ground between their opposing ways of life, or at least long enough to complete their mission. Could this trip lead to unexpected romance? I bet yes. I love when they put up some interiors. Not a whole lot on this one, but helpful. Danica's got it. Absolutely. Alison Leatherland. That's the one. An absolutely wonderful little story about a young woman whose life kind of falls apart, ends up moving into an apartment that has a lot of BDSM stuff happening around it, and learns about the life of those folks and what's inside her. She is a children's author. She writes some picture books, and yeah, folks live their lives. But morals, yeah, it's perfectly moral to have consensual whatever you want with folks. We got the home collection. It sounds like the home game version of all of your favorite old game shows. After being separated from his mother at the US border, a young Guatemalan immigrant must learn to harness his emerging superhuman abilities while being hunted by the federal government. Julio Anta and Anna Wysiak debut with a deeply grounded and heartfelt graphic novel that explores the real-world implications of a migrant with extraordinary powers. Collects the series, including an educator guide created by reimagining migration. The newest arc of Inkblot is coming out. I really love this, and the Chaos Baby at the heart of it. It is a big space and time who's cow with, like I said, a Chaos Baby at the heart of it. Wow. Newburn, very excited. I know we've got a PDF to read of this from Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips. There's also backup story here as well. Easton Newburn is a private detective without loyalties, investigating conflicts between rival crime factions while collecting enemies along the way. In this debut issue, a man is murdered after stealing from his own mafia family. But they aren't the ones who ordered the hit. This new ongoing series from Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips features a riveting backup story, Brooklyn Zirconia, by rising stars Nadia Shamas and Zayed Yusuf Ayub. I probably got parts of those names wrong. I try, but sometimes it don't work out. So this is going to be one for folks who do sort of like the Sean Phillips style. Jacob Phillips is his son and colorist on current happenings with Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. A few different covers for that. The second volume of Safe Sex is coming out. That's going direct to graphic novel, as a lot of things have been going these days, from Tina Horn with new artist G. Romero Johnston. After their previous adventure in sex, love, and torture left them separated and traumatized, the Dirty Mind heroes must face the totalitarian party's latest social program, one involving uncanny sex bots and a twisted men's rights movement. This intelligent and colorful dystopian satire is perfect for fans of Ex Machina, Black Mirror's San Junipero. Oh yeah, 100%. And Pose, yes. Actually, wow, yes. Huge, big crossroads on all of those. My goodness. Pick up the latest installment of the critically acclaimed series. Sci-Fi Wire says effortlessly captures the feeling of this revolutionary and terrifying moment in time. Also, the first collection of Shadecraft coming out. Zadie Lou is afraid of her own shadow. She's a teenager, so she really should have grown out of that by now, right? But something weird is happening in her small town. Zadie could swear the shadows are coming to life and watching her, trying to kill her. But how do you fight something you can't even touch? And how does all of this tie into her family, of all things? It's a very creepy book that I really, really enjoy. Silver Coin second arc starts here. It is incredible anthology series, incredibly creepy anthology series that does feature different writers in every issue, anchored by Michael Walsh as the artist and essentially showrunner. New writers on this arc are going to be Joshua Williamson, Vidya Aliala, Matthew Rosenberg, and Ram V. Very excited about that. And something very important to note. So, what's the furthest place from here? Has vinyl edition that is going to be heavily allocated. The End of the World has a soundtrack. Every issue of this post-apocalyptic coming-of-age series will have an extremely limited deluxe edition featuring an exclusive variant cover and a 7-inch record with 2 songs from some of today's best indie and punk bands recorded especially for this project. The first one is going to be in short supply, and this one is has its final order cutoffs happening now, so that probably shouldn't happen in the future. We'll see how that goes. So if these are songs that you want, but you're not too fussed about what pressing you get, it's going to be a good way to do that. Some Black Hammer collections for folks who have been waiting. And Hellboy, which does Hellboy stuff. You'll all be fine. I guess the thing to kind of like keep a big eye out for is the Stranger Things Winter Special one-shot. For your Stranger Things people, it might be nice to have even just a one-shot on the shelves and to make sure that it gets into people's hands. Marvel Action Chillers collects the creepier stories, all ages stories that IDW had done last year. It'll be some of the last stuff that they do with the Marvel license, including this Star Wars High Republic Adventures collection, because they are losing that license, baby. We've already gone over the Marvel stuff. And Dynamite doing its Dynamite thing. Look at all damn covers. But we should let the fine folks know about Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, #1, from Stephen Mooney. Oh, he's really good at pulp stuff. It's a good writing choice. The Queen of the Jungle returns, featuring an all-star creative team and the most amazing roster of cover artists this side of the jungle. Thrilling adventure combines the classic elements of the legendary character along with a modern sensibility that will make it the perfect debut for fans new and old. It says, and look at those covers. Lesnar, Barillo, Besh, Sodium, Cohen, Mooney, cosplay. Sheena is recruited. That's being kind. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can my way through all of that. That's being kind. She's kind of forced to enter the biodome, an amazing synthesis of nature and machine where something has gone terribly wrong. Outside the dome, she's faced with human trickery and deceit. Inside the dome, she faces the deadly jungle and a fast murdering mystery. Instead of a slow murdering mystery. Dun, 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 dun. Getting Dizzy is a new project from Boom and Shay Fontana, who, as noted here, is from Superhero Girls and Wonder Woman Rebirth. Dizzy wants to be the best, but in the case of everything she's tried, including roller skating, this teen has only been able to achieve one thing: disaster. Just when she's ready to pack it in, everything changes when Negatrix strikes, forcing her to take up the mantle of the Burb Defender. But if she wants to save the world, she's going to have to assemble the coolest skating crew in the Burbs. These, I always feel like, are better graphic novels. I do understand why they are serializing these in the current market. But yeah, I would suggest folks who are interested in reading to kind of like check out the graphic novel end of that for sure. Proctor Valley Road collection finally coming out. Oh yeah, it was so good. It's the 1970s and it's the most haunted, demon-infested stretch of road in America. Welcome to Proctor Valley Road. August, Riley, Cora, and Jeannie have organized a spook tour on the infamous roadway. Stop with the notifications, father-in-law. I like him. He's good people. And he absolutely does not know I'm doing a show right now. So none of it's his fault. But I can, in exasperation. So they've organized a spook tour on the infamous roadway with their classmates to fund attending the concert of their dreams. But when their visit turns deadly, these four friends race to rescue the missing students before the town tears them limb from limb and slay the evils roaming Proctor Valley Road, along with the monsters lurking in the hearts of 1970s America. Visionary author Grant Morrison and co-writer Alex Child, along with artist Naomi Franquez, present a chilling new horror series about the mysterious monsters that haunt Proctor Valley Road and the four misfit teens who must stop them. This was basically like a awesome, more grown-up Scooby-Doo type of thing, and my goodness, did they absolutely nail this book. Hey, speaking of Alice in Leatherland, look at the timing of that. Good job, creative team. Meet Alice, a writer of children's books with a huge heart that is absolutely crushed when she discovers her girlfriend is cheating. The crisis inspires her to seek a new life and perhaps a new love in San Francisco. This romantic comedy, written by Olada Zeffirindo and Elsa Rimboli, who are a couple, is most assuredly for adults. The story depicts, sometimes with little left to the imagination, the ups and downs of casual sex. Indeed. So it repeats it a little bit here, but the description of the book from the authors themselves: sex is recounted as a way to investigate our relationship with ourselves and others, with our bodies and our place in the world. Sexual pleasure as self-affirmation and growth. There is room for love too, and bravery, and for many good laughs. That never hurts. It's very touching. I really, really enjoyed this book. The Chilling Adventures in Sorcery. Kind of misses the mark a little bit on coming out in October because it looks like it's hitting in November. But it's got a great mix of folks doing a one-shot story. The future of Archie Comics starts here in a new anthology-style one-shot. Madam Satan is our tour guide into this horrific world, exploring the underbelly of Riverdale and its surrounding areas. Madam Satan is trying to escape hell. She goes through the circles of hell in reverse. And along the way, she meets lost and tortured souls who tell her stories, like that of Archie Andrews, who accepted a seemingly normal job as the nighttime security shift at Riverdale's local pizzeria and children's mascot entertainment venue, only to learn that the venue harbors a deep, dark, robotic, monstrous secret. And then there's Jughead Jones, a teen who never met a food he didn't like until now. What is the eerie noise coming from the kitchen? All that, plus more bonus, frightful content, sure to delight all Archie horror fans. Doesn't hurt to have Elliot Rahal, who's been doing some outstanding stuff in the realm of comic book horror right now. There's a lot of Dynamic Forces stuff on here. Gilliam March's Allura #1 is reprinting some stuff that he's done over in Europe. But for folks who love Gilliam March, something to check out before his work on Batman and the hit Joker series. Before he created Carmen, there was the heartfelt story of Laura, the book that led Gilliam March to the mainstream comics world. Suffering from the ever-painful experience of unrequited love, 20-year-old Laura takes a look at her life. Is the fact that the boy she has feelings for in love with someone else mean there is something wrong with her? Or is that just how young love goes? And what will happen when she tries to get past the hurt and move on with her life? Laura is an exploration into the mind of a young woman who is experiencing something most people have, but in honest, beautiful way that only Gilliam March can bring us. So we've got some preview pages here. So you can definitely see there was an evolution of his style past this point, but you can still see where it came from, basically. Very cool. Heathens! Heathens! From Cullen Bunn, Heath Amadio, and Sammy Cavella. Ooh, Sammy Cavella! Hell yeah. Very excited about this. The work is so good. When evil men and women escape from the depths of the eternal abyss, the pirate queen, Lady Sheik, is sent to retrieve them. But when one of the heroes history's most notorious killers breaks free. Even she needs help. Enter the heathens. See, I'm probably getting that super wrong. Lucky Luciano, Bumpy Johnson, Sophia the Golden Hand, and Billy the Kid. From hell, they come to mete out a justice as dark as their own tormented souls. Seems fun. Hecate's Will. Hecate's Will. From, you guessed it, one of the creators of Alice in Leatherland. Look at this. Just a nice, chunk of content from those awesome folks. This story is the story of a legendary New York City graffiti artist who has decided to retire and abandon her mission of changing the world through art. But before she quits, she's going to create one final street art experience, a graffiti scavenger hunt through the streets of Manhattan that will lead her fans to the final message and artistic statement. As her street art experiments catches fire with young NYC activists and artists, and while she simultaneously gets roped into working on a rock musical, all of Hecate's expectations and assumptions will be challenged. But will it be enough to renew the strength of her conviction to remain true to her artistic self? Hecate's Will is a story for anyone who knows you can't escape being who you are, and that making art means proudly showing your scars to the world. Knighted is a dark boy story from Greg Hurwitz and Brian Reber. In this action-packed adventure set in the universe of the Resistance, Greg Hurwitz and Mark Texiera and Brian Reber introduce a masked vigilante for the 21st century. 21st century! Bob Ryder is a hapless bureaucrat whose bad luck streak comes to a crescendo when he accidentally kills the city's masked vigilante, the Knight. Now Bob is forced to take on the mantle of the legendary hero before the city descends into chaos. Good thing he's got the Knight's former butler and assistant to show him the ropes. Oh, very excited for this one. Yeah, girl. Night Hunters is a pulsing cybernetic classic that tells the tale of two brothers who have to navigate the futuristic dystopian world of Venezuela 100 years in the future. Night Hunters has art by the brilliant Alexis Ziert. My goodness, the art on here is just outstanding. If you're into this kind of blacklight Kirby renderings, you're gonna want to read some of that. That's probably going to do it. There's a new Star Trek magazine for the folks who've been getting Star Trek magazine. Definitely pop them into this one because this one has a lot of prose fiction for them. I know we have a big Star Trek person to get their stuffs. All right. Stuff I'm going to show you is for folks who are with Lunar. These are due on Sunday. Including these Bandits Imagination versus the Vacuum Monster and Bandits Imagination Tub Trouble, but a wee puppo who's just having a little bit of trouble with life. Very cute, part of the Scoot line for early readers. A lot of these I will go through because I do these 2 weeks in a row. Because Universal stuff is a completely different set of final order cutoffs, which we'll be doing later for Canadian Universal customers. And doing them twice just makes me sleepy. It does. Batman Superman Authority Special is a tie-in to what's currently happening in Action Comics. If you have folks who are getting the Superman and the Authority miniseries by Grant Morrison, or people who are super into Action Comics, if you see the crossroads between the two, that's a person you need to order this for as a retailer. And if you're a reader, this is a book that you need to get in order to give a little extra spice to what's happening in the future here. The Dark Knights of Steel #1 from Tom Taylor. It's basically DC Universe, but applied with the medieval trappings. We all know that Tom Taylor is absolutely outstanding with these alternative worlds. He is the one that made the Injustice series such a monster hit for everybody, as well as Deceased. So he's going to continue that here, and that's going to be freaking wild and awesome to see. Justice League Incarnate follows up on the stuff that was happening in Infinite Frontier. After the shocking ending of Infinite Frontier, Justice League Incarnate defends the multiverse from Darkseid across infinite Earths. There's also a brand new superhero, Dr. Multiverse from Earth 8, happening here, written by Joshua Williamson and Dennis Culver, with a first issue art by Brandon Peterson. Brandon, that's me! And Andrea Barson, and a rotating cast of artists exploring the many different worlds of the DC multiverse in this can't miss series in the next thrilling chapter of the Infinite Frontiers saga. We also have Robin and Batman from Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen that focuses more on Dick Grayson's experiences in his early days as Robin. And we also have Super Cats. That's what it says on the tape. Superhero Cats, baby! And it's also one of those great all ages books that Scout is coming out in their Scout line. So that's very cool. All right, and finally, we have the stuff that's due from Universal this coming Thursday. Is there anything new? So what I'm starting to do here is I'm starting to skip the DC graphic novels here because they turn up on Final Order Kata from Penguin way later. And instead of doing them 3 times, once for Universal, once for Lunar, and once for Penguin, I'm gonna just do them once. Oh yeah, and for folks who are like, hey, I love the Harley Quinn animated series, the Eat Bang Kill tour is a continuation of that. We've got issue 1 right now. Issue 2 is coming out this week or next week, can't remember. Also, if you've got your DC Infinite app, you can read Harley Quinn, the animated series, Eat Bang Kill Tour number 3 right now. And you'll see yourself some thick Nightwing booty. Something to make sure you have on Final Order Cutoff from Z2. This is not going to be from Universal, but something to order from Simon & Schuster as they do a Z2 product. Comics' biggest talents come together to form an exciting all-woman team of creators to bring you stories to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Joan Jett's seminal albums, Bad Reputation and I Love Rock and Roll, hit audiences like an atom bomb, defining a sound that became a soundtrack that would span generations. Now, in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the seminal albums, an unparalleled team of women creators bring these songs to life as 20 stories. Very freaking cool. Yeah, I don't actually think there's a whole lot to talk about other than the second season of White Ash starting up here. Welcome back to White Ash, a small smudge of a town in western Pennsylvania where mining is a generational calling and the secrets are buried deeper than the coal in the mountain. And the biggest of those secrets is that elves and dwarves live hidden among the town's population. 2 months have passed since the dramatic conclusion of the first season. Alex, fresh off finding out he comes from a family of dwarves, plans a secret romantic rendezvous in the woods with Lillian the elf. Or not so secret, as their meeting is witnessed by a young couple with dire results. Dun 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 dun. And yeah. Ooh, wait. My goodness. I almost didn't talk about this. That would have been bad. Because I'm so outstandingly excited for this. The detail that I've seen in some of the art that's been released so far is just, stunning. The wait is over. And the entire story of the Amazons can finally be told. Millennia ago, Queen Hera and the goddesses of the Olympian pantheon grew greatly dissatisfied with their male counterparts and far from their sight. they put a plan into action. A new society was born, one never seen on Earth, capable of wondrous and terrible things. But their existence could not stay secret for long. When a despairing woman named Hippolyta crossed the Amazon's path, a series of events was set in motion that would lead to an outright war in heaven and the creation of Earth's greatest guardian. Legendary talents Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez unleash a reading experience the likes of which you've never seen, with unbelievably sumptuous art and a story that will haunt you, with subsequent issues featuring art by modern masters Gene Ha and Nicholas Scott. One of the most unforgettable DC tales of all time begins here. And that is it. A relatively quick one this week. Thank you all for watching, whether it's live, whether it's not. I'm hoping to do a better version of this in the future at some point. That might be in the new year, when things settle down from all of this. If they settle down, they might not settle down, and it might not do a new version of this. So you have that to maybe not look forward to. All right. Thank you all for watching. Jim says goodbye. She also said, leave me alone. Yeah. Cranky baby. She come to say goodbye. All right. Thank you all for watching. We will talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.